Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Way Back Movies. I am James, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. If you've been a subscriber to my channel for a while now, you probably remember a video I did. It was my top 10 favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. That was going to be kind of a common thing I was going to try to do, but I obviously didn't. That was the only one I made. But I'm going to get back into it. So what I'm going to do is going to be a series of different kind of top 10s. One of them is going to be my top 10 favorite movies for each year. I'm going to start earlier and then just kind of work my way up to the present for each year. So what we're going to do is the first year is going to be 1984. That's what this video is. Now you may be asking yourself, why the hell are we starting in 1984? Because really that's the first year that there's a lot of movies I've seen in that year. If I did like the top 10 movies of 1982, of my favorites, it would literally just be like the top 10 movies I've seen that were made that year. Because I think even that, I don't even know if there's 10 movies I've seen. So it's kind of pointless. But 1984 is really the first year that I kind of really got into watching movies when I was younger, saw a bunch of stuff. So this is going to be in my top 10 for 1984. And if you don't remember 1984, there were a ton of really good movies that came out that year. I'm going to read off a list of a couple of them here. Ghostbusters came out in 1984, Gremlins, Footloose, Purple Rain, Splash, and the Academy Award winner that year was Amadeus. All of those were 1984. Spoiler alert for this video, none of those made my top 10. All right, guys, welcome back. So if there's anybody that's still around after I said that like movies like Ghostbusters aren't on my top 10, thanks for still being here. Like I said, this is going to be my personal top 10 of movies of 1984. So obviously movies that you like are going to be different. I do enjoy like Ghostbusters and Gremlins, but they're just not my favorites of that year. Back then, when I was younger, I used to watch some of these movies just over and over again. So these are going to be my favorites. Like I said, yours is obviously going to be very different. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know some of your favorite movies of 1984 or what you think of my list. And if you are new to the channel, please think about hitting that like and subscribe button. I try to put out videos at least 2 to 3 times a week on various movie-related topics. All right, now that we got the stuff out of the way, let's actually get into the movies. So number 10 on my list of top movies of 1984 is going to be Patrick Swayze in Red Dawn. As you can see, I ain't even taken this out of the package yet. Only $4.95 at Dollar General. At least back a couple months ago it was. Red Dawn I just thought was a really cool movie, especially that opening scene when, you've got all those kids in high school and you see those paratroopers. They just look out on the field, all these paratroopers start landing, right in their, at their high school, and then just kind of everything that followed. Obviously, this movie is about basically World War III. I think it was the Russians and I want to say the Cubans were together, if I remember correctly, basically invade the United States. You've got a group of high school kids that, like I said, they basically attack them right in the high school. They kind of get away and they do this, whole resistance movement, calling themselves the Wolverines, which I believe is their high school mascot. So they basically become kind of just a resistance cell that kind of tries to take out actually not, I guess they weren't really Russians, they were Soviets at the time. So Soviet Union, yeah, I guess it kind of a little bit these days kind of fits in. But yeah, it's just a really cool movie. Really like this one. The remake was okay, but it definitely doesn't hold up to this one. And this has got a great cast. Like I said, you got Patrick Swayze in this one, C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson, Charlie Sheen, Jennifer Grey, just a kind of a who's who of 80s actors. If you haven't seen this one, definitely want to check this out. This is a really cool movie, and this is number 10 on my top movies of 1984. All right, moving along to number 9. This is a comedy that I have seen, like, I'm not literally a million times, but probably close to it. I used to watch the hell out of this movie, even as a young kid, which was probably super inappropriate, but they were different times back then. And that is going to be Revenge of the Nerds. Call me crazy. I know if I haven't lost anybody on Ghostbusters is not on my list, I may lose people from the fact that I prefer, as far as like college screwball comedies, I prefer Revenge of the Nerds over Animal House. Like I said, if any, I know people are just clicking off this video right now, like I'm insane, but I don't know what it is, but this movie I just found hilarious. It was hilarious when I watched it when I was younger. Like I said, this is not really a kids movie you should be watching as a kid, but I did, and it's still hilarious now. Just the jokes, just the different characters on here. It was really just a cool comedy on here. Like I said, this is one of those ones I've seen a million times. Obviously, you got the nerds from Lambda Lambda Lambda. Well, they weren't at the beginning, but they become that, fighting the evil Alpha Betas, the jocks. So just a really cool movie. They made some subsequent ones. This is really the only really good one. Part two was okay, and then everything after that's just kind of could have just been made for TV movie type stuff. But really, the original is just really one of the best out of it. Forget the whole Skolnick and the cheerleader sexual harassment, basically, or assault thing that happens in that one. We're just gonna leave that part aside, as this was the '80s. Not telling her who he was; she was thinking it was somebody else. But anyway, just a good movie overall. So this one is number 9 on my list of the top 10 movies of 1984. All right, so number 8 on my list is actually one of the two movies that I don't actually have in my collection. I know it's a shame. I just know they're going to release a 4K. Well, I don't know it, but I'm hoping they're going to release a 4K set of it. So I just kind of been holding off because I know if I buy the collection on Blu-ray, the next day it'll be announced it's coming to 4K. So I just haven't bought it yet. But number 8 on my list is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, this is just a classic horror movie. Obviously, you got Freddy Krueger in there, one of the creepiest and then coolest movie horror villains there is. Really, especially when you had like the slashers. This is the time that you had like you had your Halloweens out there, you had your Friday the 13th, and the various other '80s slasher movies. This is really only one. Well, I'm sure there was others, but the main one that was kind of like horror, but then slash comedy, like Freddy Krueger was like legit crazy and was having a good time doing it. It wasn't just some stone faced or wearing a mask with no emotion, just butchering people left and right. So I mean, obviously, it's the original. Some of the others are okay, but it's the same thing. And I guess it's like that with a lot of movies. When you watch the first one, it's really the best. Some of the others are okay, but yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Freddy Krueger? The original is definitely my favorite. That remake I could do without, but all of the Robert Englund ones are definitely good. So that is why this one is number 8 on my top 10 of 1984. All right, going on to number 7, another horror movie. I know a lot of people will think it's blasphemy that I put this one ahead of Nightmare on Elm Street. I understand. I'll understand the hate, but this is one. It's another one of those movies. I have seen this movie so many times I could literally probably recite the script for it. Saw it a bunch as a kid. Like I said, it was one of those ones, kind of like Revenge of the Nerds. I just watched it over and over and over. And that is the creepy Stephen King movie, Children of the Corn. Like I said, not the scariest, but for whatever reason, it was just one that I loved so much. I mean, you've got Isaac here. Just look, I mean, in the '80s, you had a lot of, obviously, when in any horror movie, although I guess nowadays they have younger ones, but in most horror movies, you've got this huge, menacing killer. And then in this one, it was a bunch of kids, just a whole bunch of kids that for whatever reason just went batshit crazy, and started killed all their parents and everything, and really Isaac just looked creepy as hell, especially that scene where you first see him when they're killing all the parents in that diner, and he just comes. Like, you just see him outside walking up and looking in from the window. Just looks like a super creepy kid. And then, of course, for your Isaac, you got your Malachi, doing the kind of the enforcer of the group. But I just always thought this was a cool movie. The ending was kind of, that the thing was just kind of going through like a giant groundhog in the dirt. I'm pretty sure it's because, from what I've read, they ran out of money. But I always loved this movie anyway. There's been a million either sequels or remakes or whatnot. All of them suck except for this one, in my opinion. Love Children of the Corn. Glad Arrow put this out on 4K. So definitely a cool horror movie. If you have not seen it, you should check it out. It also has Linda Hamilton from Terminator fame. All right, had to get that Linda Hamilton bit in there. You got to know Linda Hamilton's in that movie too. All right, so next up on the list is going to be another movie that has a whole bunch of sequels to it. Some of them are okay, some of them are crap. But this is another movie that I have seen a million times, and that is going to be the original Police Academy. I know this cover is kind of crap. This is actually the disc from the Complete Police Academy collection. There's 7 movies in there, but Police Academy is the original right there. Just a funny, goofy movie. I mean, the whole premise is kind of stupid. Although I do think there's actually like a real thing that it was based off of. But it's basically just cast of misfits that decide they're going to join the police force. You got Mahoney, you got Hightower, Hooks, who head talks real low unless it's a time to scream at somebody, and then you've got Commandant Lassard, who runs everything, who's like totally senile. It's just a really cool movie. I can't remember the guy who does the voices. I can't remember his name. Uh, what is his actual name? I know he was on something recently. I think he was on like Michael Winslow. That's who it is. Michael Winslow. He's the guy that does like all those cool voices. It's just hilarious. Tackleberry, gotta love Tackleberry. Just like I said, it's just a group of misfit people that decide to join the police academy, and then like hijinks ensue. If you haven't seen this one, definitely gotta check this one out. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite comedies of all time, not just of 1984. All right, so we're moving into the top 5 movies of 1984. Number 5 on my list is definitely a classic. Shocking to everybody when I'm going to tell you this, but I've seen this movie a million times, just about. Uh, it's got sequels as well. A lot of these have sequels, a whole bunch of sequels, as a matter of fact. But some of the sequels are good, and then obviously people loved it so much. It is now a Netflix series that's been going. What are we on season 4? I think, and that is going to be the iconic Karate Kid with Pat Morita and uh, oh my God, I'm losing it. Ralph Macchio. Wow, I had a moment. Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita. Like I said, just the original, definitely a classic movie. I remember seeing this one when I was younger. Just thought it was amazing. Um, Now Ralph Macchio, when you watch him do karate, he sucks at it. But that's okay. You just have to suspend disbelief on this one. And then, of course, you've got the evil Johnny Lawrence of the Cobra Kai. Although now, I guess if you watch the Netflix Cobra Kai, they're and he's still kind of And just to go off on something totally not 1984 in Cobra Kai, if you do watch it, I don't understand. I get it if they want to make Johnny be like Daniel LaRusso successful, but Johnny is not that successful. But why does it seem like Johnny has like for some reason been teleported from 1984 to 2021? I don't understand. Like he has no concept of any like current technologies or a single current band. It's like he was just instantly picked up from 84 and dropped into 2021. I don't understand that at all. Maybe y'all could let me know on this one. I guess that's like my one critique of Cobra Kai. It's like, I mean, it's like he's never even heard of, like he was in prison the entire time. Anyway, the original 1984 Karate Kid, like I said, definitely a classic. I love part 2 as well. Part 3, and then the part 4 with Hilary Swank. No. But yeah, Karate Kid. This is the standalone 4K. Actually, got the collection not too long ago. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Just a really cool story. And then you've kind of got Daniel Russo's father's not around. Pat Morita's kind of that father figure mentor. Just a really really great movie. And number 5 in my top 10 of 1984. All right, number 4 on the list. If we're in the 80s, we got to get some John Hughes movies on the list. That kind of probably picks up a little bit more in some of the subsequent years, but 1984 definitely had one of his classics. It's number 4 on my list, and that is going to be the iconic 16 Candles. This is the Arrow version. Did I switch it to the? Yeah, this is the kind of more iconic little cover that you used to seeing. It's got a reversible cover on this one, but you've got Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall in this one. Just a classic. I love this movie. It's another one I've seen a million times. I watched a lot of the same movies in 1984. But yeah, just a really cool John Hughes comedy. Obviously, Molly Ringwald, they forget her birthday. It's her 16th birthday. They forget her birthday. She kind of, goes through it. She's having a real crappy time. You've got Anthony Michael Hall as the geek, the king of the nerds. And of course, Molly Ringwald is pining over good old Jake Ryan, the rich kid, in this one. It's just a really cool movie. It's weird the character, the guy that played Jake Ryan, never really heard much from him after this. I guess I don't know if he just quit acting or just wasn't anything major after that one. I don't think he was the best actor per se. I mean, I really think they just got him because he was a pretty dude. But I don't think he was the best actor. I think, especially compared to the way that Anthony Michael Hall and Molly Ringwald were kind of, doing their thing. But yeah, I mean, it's just a cool movie. Who doesn't love Long Duck Dong? I know it's probably super racist nowadays, that character, but you know what? In 1984, it was funny. So I'm going with it. This is just a classic movie. Love this one. 16 Candles is number 4 on my list. All right, now moving into the top 3. Number 3 on my list is going to be the other one that I actually don't have in the collection. I used to. I had the Steelbook, but I really hated the case on the Steelbook, so I sold that. I'm just going to pick up the kind of the digibook option on it. And number 3 on my list is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Once again, seen this movie many times. Love this movie. I mean, really all of the Indiana Jones, and I know Kingdom of the Crystal Skull gets a lot of hate. It definitely is number 4 and far, far, far on my list of the top Indiana Jones movies. But really, all of these are really cool movies. Just that whole concept of Indiana Jones and his, you know, going on, him searching for things and stuff. Just really cool. Really, I mean, some of the best action movies there is. Obviously, Temple of Doom. You've got Harrison Ford in this one. You've got I can't pronounce. I remember his name offhand. The guy who played Data from The Goonies, who go is Short Round in this one, and then you've got I think it's Kate Capshaw, Steven Spielberg's wife or future wife in this one, as the love interest in this one. Just a cool movie, and then you've got the Temple of Doom. They're going there. How do you not like an evil dude trying to like literally? Well, he didn't try on the one guy. He literally just pulled his heart out of his chest. So, what is it? The Thuggy, I think, is what they were called. And just a really cool movie. All of the going through the huge temple and everything, and it was just I just thought it was an amazing movie. Never look at Shield Monkey Brains the same again after seeing that one. Some of that stuff was just I know some people nowadays are a little sensitive on how, making fun of other cultures' food, but I'm sorry, chilled monkey brains is gross. I don't care where you live. That's just nasty. But the movie overall is good. So yeah, number 3 on my list is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. All right, so we are down to the top 2 movies of 1984. Are you wondering maybe? Do you have kind of some idea of what number 1 and number 2 are going to be? Are you waiting for a movie that you know is great that you haven't heard me talk about yet? Well, number 2 is definitely one of the biggest sci-fi movies there is. It's one of also the few movies where the original was amazing, but the sequel was even better. And I'm talking about the original Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it and Linda Hamilton. Obviously, this is classic sci-fi right here. It was very hard. This was almost my number 1. It was a very close second to what I eventually picked as number 1. But definitely, I mean, this and it's spawned a gazillion movies. You've got Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime here. Evil cyborg coming from the future to kill Sarah Connor before she can give birth to John Connor, the leader of the Resistance. Well, apparently at the time, if you watch some of the most recent ones, he doesn't matter anymore. But whatever, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, just a really cool classic sci-fi movie. And just I always think it's amazing to watch Linda Hamilton in this one. Her play Sarah Connor in this compared to her playing Sarah Connor in part 2. It's like 2 different people. Like here, she's the waitress, and oh no, save me. And then in 2, she's a badass. Just really cool. I mean, obviously you've got Arnold in this one. Does an amazing job. And what was it, Michael Bain that was Kyle Reese in this one? The father of John Connor. Sorry if that's a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Terminator by now, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But yeah, so you've got him as Kyle Reese. Just a really cool movie. Like I said, one of the best sci-fi movies of all time. Hoping this gets the 4K treatment. Hoping this gets the 4K treatment that's way better than Terminator 2's 4K treatment. But now that James Cameron is done finishing 74 different Avatar movies, maybe we'll actually get that. But yeah, number 2 on the list is Terminator. All right, it is now time for the number one movie from 1984, in my opinion, anyway. Like I said, this was real close between Terminator and this one. It really could have gone either way for me, but this is one of those movies that I just love. It's hilarious. There's a ton of action in this one, and that is going to be Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop. Obviously, we got the 4K version right here. Just really love this movie. Like I said, it's hilarious. There's tons of action in it. It's just a really cool movie that's got a sweet 80s soundtrack. Gotta love that those nice 80s soundtracks in there. But yeah, just a really great movie. This is kind of when Eddie Murphy was really at his peak. I think in the mid 80s, with your Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America, those kind of movies. Really did a great job here. And obviously we've got Eddie Murphy's character Axel Foley comes from Detroit to investigate the murder of his friend. And of course, he, kind of does whatever he wants, bends some rules, as is a lot of these cop movies. He's a rule bender. And then he runs into Taggart and Rosewood, Billy Rosewood, who, of course, are Beverly Hills cops, and they are, by the book, don't do anything they're not supposed to. So you got that clash of styles right there. But this is kind of just, like I said, Eddie Murphy at his best on this one. Really love this movie. The funny thing is, like I said, I actually kind of like part two more than I do one. But really love this one as well. Definitely really cool. If you haven't seen this one, you got to check this out. Really cool action movie. Eddie Murphy at his best in Beverly Hills Cop. And that is my number one movie of 1984. So, guys, let me know, like I said, in the comments down below, do you think I'm insane that I didn't put some movies up on this list? Some of your favorites, are they not on there? Let me know what you think of my list. And then, like I said, this is just going to kind of be the start. I'm not going to be doing these every day or anything, but eventually I'll go do 85, 86, and so on until we get up to the current year. Just of what my personal opinion, just reminder, this is my personal list of the top movies of 1984, what I like the best. Obviously, yours are going to be different. But let me know what you guys enjoy. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.